Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! This is the card I'd like to show you. This is kind of the prototype, so I'm going to do things a little tiny bit different. It uses colorful seasons. Love this stamp set. It has winter, summer, fall, spring, and it's got some great greetings on here. And it coordinates with the seasonal layers thinlits. My colors are Old Olive, Fresh Fig, Peekaboo Peach, and Cajun Craze. And I'm also going to use the Cable Knit Dynamic Folder. Don't worry about keeping track of all the dimensions and the directions. I have a link on my website that you can click and print out the complete detailed directions. And I'll also have a link to all the products on bevadams.com. My first step is to emboss my cardstock. I do not need the thin die adapter. I would like to put my cardstock just up to the fold. So if I can kind of see my cardstock through there. And I can also kind of line it up with the border here. I only need one clear plate, and I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. This is Fresh Fig. I don't know if I mentioned that. Then I'm going to run that 1 1/4 strip through. I chose 1 1/4 because I wanted to have it match this pattern. So I should be able to line it up pretty close to that pattern on the embossing folder. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it before, make sure you're tucked in all the way around. You don't want to have it running up against the edge. Then it's kind of hard to see that original embossing because I didn't get right on there. But as long as it's straight, it's not critical. The next thing I want to do is sponge my Very Vanilla. And I want to be extra generous with the Peekaboo Peach. And this is just kind of random blobs. But I want these beautiful fall colors. Do both sides. If you want to have some darker areas, it's all good. The other color I was generous with is the Cajun Craze, and this is much darker color. Then I also want to use some Fresh Fig. Fill in some of these areas, and then also some Old Olive. These colors, I think, are just gorgeous together. Next, I'm going to use the leaf and stamp that leaf. And I wanted at least, oops, I forgot to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. But I want to cut out 7 or 8 leaves. I do not need to stamp on the other side. Next, I'm going to cut those leaves out. So I do need the thin die adapter. And I need a cut up plate. I'm using the open leaf. And I do want to try and line up my stem. Then a clear plate on top. And these pop right out. I'm going to cut out all of my leaves. If you do want a greeting on the inside, there are several to pick from. My favorites are Just Breathe and You Make Me Smile, but there are others in the set. But if you don't want it to show through the leaves, you can put it up at the top. And I will go ahead and use the Fresh Fig ink. Pull my mat back in. Go ahead and adhere this on the inside of your card. And again, I'm going to brighten it up on the edges with my borders on the top and the bottom. Swapping out my stamp mat for my adhesive mat. I'm going to be arranging these leaves along the edges of this piece. I don't want to go off the side edges. And I want to put the adhesive just on the tips of these leaves. And I do want to make sure that I don't have adhesive sticking off the edge, and I do, so I'm just going to kind of tuck that in. And I might as well add a little bit of embossing buddy on there just in case there was some stickiness left. Then I want to put some leaves on this edge. And I might just put 3 on here, I think. Then I'm going to align the bottom, and then I'm going to put adhesive on these leaves where they overlap. So I want to make sure that I'm not going to be putting these where there's blank spots to the inside of my card. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And if you want to add the 4th leaf, you certainly could. I think I will. I think it needs to go there. I think I will use the mini glue dots, but I want to be careful about where I'm putting them. And there's my card. So I wanted to point out the reason we did both sides is that the leaves look okay on this inside part too. If you'd like, you can also emboss the envelope flap. And there's my card. This makes me wish it was cool enough to wear nice warm sweaters. And looking at the colorful leaves of fall, as I'm making this card, I'm in Southern California and we've got the air conditioner on and it's been hot, but this has me ready for sweater weather. So if you'd like those directions and the link to all the products, come on over to bevadams.com. I'd be very happy to be your demonstrator. Talk to you soon. Bye.